Hi everyone, my name is Alexis. I am a pre-med postbac student at UC Irvine, and I wanted to make this video to talk a little bit more about postbac programs, what they are, how they may be helpful to you, because I just don't think there's enough information online and definitely not enough promotion. So there are two different types of postbac programs. There are career changer programs and academic enhancer programs. So career changer programs, those are for students who have gained a degree in a non-science category. This could be something like English or sociology, and they decide later on in their academic career that they want to pursue medicine. So through these career changer programs, they're able to take the required courses that they need in order to get to med school. So that's one type of program. The second type of program are academic enhancers, and that's the program that I'm in at UC Irvine. And these are for students who don't have a competitive undergrad GPA and really wish to improve their grades in order to become a more competitive applicant. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more about the UC Consortium, the programs that kind of underlie the consortium, and some of the requirements that you need in order to be accepted into these programs. So just a little bit of background information about me. I graduated from UC Santa Barbara with a bachelor's degree in microbiology, and I had a very low science and cumulative GPA. And I knew that the only way I can really showcase my potential as a competitive med school applicant was to really improve my GPA, because I had already done other clinical volunteer work. I worked in a clinical setting at my job as a direct care professional. I had done other research that all showcased my desire and my passion to pursue medicine. But my GPA was definitely not strong. And I wanted to also mention that because it's important that even if you had struggled as a sophomore or freshman, it's okay, but you need to recover. A lot of these programs, they want to see that even though you may have struggled at a specific time, they want to see an upward trend in your GPA. They want to see you recovering, so that way they know that you can handle the rigor of their program. So that being said, I wanted to talk about the UC Consortium. So the UC Consortium is kind of like an umbrella for the postbac programs through UC Davis, UC Irvine, UCLA, UC Riverside, and UC San Francisco. So basically all these programs you can apply to through the UC Consortium, and it's a free application, which is great. They ask you to provide obviously your transcripts, a list of some of the volunteer work, other work experiences you had. They also ask for 3 letters of recommendation, and for all of these programs you need to be considered disadvantaged. So this could be economically disadvantaged or an experience that you may have had as a minority, and a commitment to working in underserved communities. So that's really important. You have to have some type of volunteer work or something that you can put on your application to demonstrate these two things. Also, for the 3 letters of recommendation, they do ask that you will give one from a professor and another from a community service leader or something like that. And then the third one's of your choice, but it has to be another professor or community service leader. So these letters of recommendation are obviously to show proof that you do have a passion for working in underserved communities, but also that from your professor that you have the potential and the drive to handle the rigor of university level courses. And then also the 3 essays are also required. So I did want to talk a little bit about that, because I do think that they may change the prompts every single year, but I think it's around kind of like this similar subject. So the first one was an easy but very, very challenging one, was explain why you want to go to med school. And I think this is kind of mentioned enough, but you don't want to say because, obviously not because you want to make a lot of money, and obviously not because your parents did it. You want to really identify maybe it's a specific experience you had working in a clinical type job or volunteer work. You want to really identify what made you want to choose medicine? It's definitely it's a very straightforward but difficult question, and it's something that you're going to have to be ready for when you do apply to med school and you do get interviewed. So that's something that's really important to think about thoroughly. The second prompt was explain why you would like to participate in a postbac program, discuss your expectations of the program, what you will contribute to it, and any weaknesses in your academic record, and what areas you would like assistance in improving. So this is really, really important. You definitely do want to address what went wrong in your undergrad years. You definitely want to address where you may have lost focus, or maybe some type of personal issue you're working through. You want to address it, you want to state it, but you also want to move on from it. You don't want to dwell on it and make excuses about it, but you want to be able to show what you did differently, who you to talk to, how did your study habits change, who did you outreach to, what other types of programs were you in, did you seek tutoring. They want to see your motivation, your drive, your personal drive, so that they can know that the academic support and the counseling that they can provide to you are just going to facilitate what you've already been doing. So that's something that's really important to consider. And then the last prompt was to describe your experience with working in underserved communities. So for the UC Consortium programs, it's really important that you do demonstrate that. But for other programs, I think it's UC San Diego, you may not, I think it's important that you work in underserved communities. I'm not too sure, but you don't have to be a disadvantaged student. So just check with the websites and the different programs that you're interested in, and they'll be able to tell you more in depth the requirements. Another big thing that I forgot to mention is that you do have to be a California resident to apply to these programs, which is kind of a little bit, it sucks for people who are out of state who definitely do want to do a postbac program in California, but I think it's just that's just how it is, unfortunately. So yeah, I think I covered everything. If you guys have any more questions, I'm going to be posting the link for the UC Consortium application down below, but I think I might do another video just about my experience and a little bit more about my stats and stuff to give you guys some insight. But if you are a sophomore or junior or senior, I don't know what grade you're in, but if you're watching this and you're just thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, my GPA is just, it's nowhere near where it should be, it's nowhere near where I want it to be to really apply to med school right now, that is 100% fine. That is 100% okay. There are other options for you. Even if you don't get into a postbac program, I highly recommend doing some courses through UC Extension. This is basically a way to do university level courses without being an official student, kind of. And you're able to demonstrate that you can handle the rigor of those courses on your own. And that's going to really make an impact on admissions counselors. Lastly, you could also do a specialized master's program, but the thing I would definitely just be wary of is that doing a master's program isn't going to raise your undergrad GPA. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to comment me below. Thanks.